So environmental pollution is one of the most pressing challenges of the 21st century because of threats to human health, ecosystems, and the overall well-being of the environment. So it helps us to understand the types of pollution, the causes of pollution, the consequences of pollution, and related concepts. So what is environmental pollution? It refers to the introduction of harmful materials into the environment, which can be physical, chemical, or biological, to an extent that the normal environment is adversely affected. And what is a pollutant? Any harmful material that by getting introduced into the environment causes pollution is called a pollutant. Same thing, a pollutant can be chemical, can be biological, can be physical as well. So pollutants are categorized into different parameters based on the nature of disposal. Number one, those that are non-biodegradable, and we know them, they cannot be broken to simpler forms. Some phones are still on. So the non-biodegradable ones, the tins, the containers of pesticides, the polythene bags, the plastics, the synthetic clothing, silk, and all that, the foils, all of them, they are non-biodegradable. As the name implies, nature cannot degrade them. Nature cannot turn them into something else. As you dump them, so they're there. So, for example, if you dig the ground now, you will see layers upon layers of nylon bags in them, still there, even though they were been dumped there more than months or years ago. Nothing about them has changed. They're still there the way they are. But of course, if you dump orange peels, or if you dump yam peels, or if you dump agricultural products, after a week or two, everything decomposes. So that's one of the classification of pollutants. As we talk about the non-biodegradable, so we have the biodegradable ones. Those ones are broken into simpler, harmless substances in nature over time. Examples are there: urine, feces, carcass of animals, human body parts, and all of this. They decompose over time. The agricultural residues also. Then we have another classification based on persistence. How much of it stays in the environment after it has been released? So we're talking of the primary pollutants. Also, and we're talking of secondary pollutants. Secondary pollutants come out as a reaction of the pollutant with some environmental factors, turning it into something else. Nitrous oxide is turned into nitrate or nitrogen dioxide. The one with a 1,0 is turned into the one with 2,0. Carbon monoxide is turned into carbon dioxide and all of that. So adding to more problems for the environment. Then we talk about the qualitative and quantitative pollutants as well. The qualitative ones usually don't occur in nature, but are added by man, insecticides and all of that. So we talked about causes of environmental pollution, industrialization, urbanization, forest fires, improper agricultural practices, deforestation, and use of an industrial waste. Then we talked about types of pollution. And the flow chart here explains it. The flow chart here explains the types of pollution. Dust pollution, which is also air pollution, noise pollution, radioactive pollution, man-made causes of pollution, and industrial pollution. This flow chart explains it. So the various types of pollution we have are air pollution, and how does it come? From fossil fuels, from vehicular exhaust, from industrial emissions. And air pollution is very linked to a lot of respiratory and cardiovascular problems, and also affects plants because it causes the rain to be acidic in nature. Thereby leading to climate change. Water resources, the plants and animals in water, which are a good source of revenue and food for man. So we need to be careful on how we contaminate the aquatic system. Then we have soil pollution, which is what grows the food we eat. So if you contaminate the soil, you know, ants play a very big role in soil fertility. The earthworms as well. So when there's contamination of the soil, you won't see ants, you won't see earthworms because they will leave the place. Those things are very sensitive to contamination. That's why they are used as biomarkers. They use them to test the safety of the environment. If you drop an earthworm in an environment that is polluted, it should not stay. It will crawl and go. Lower animals like that, they don't have time to be managing life. They will find their own way. It's we human beings that look for ways to manage our lives in the midst of trouble. Those animals don't waste their time at all. Insects, butterflies, earthworms, those smaller, lower level animals or organisms, they are an indicator of the purity of an environment. The more you see them in an environment, the safer that environment is for you and for them. And where you don't see much of it, that should tell you that that environment is polluted because they will not stay there if there's pollution. So that's why they are used as biomarkers. And they use them a lot in studies of soil fertility and soil pollution. Then you have the noise pollution. Please, am I being heard?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you hearing me clearly now?
We are hearing you, ma'am.
We are hearing you.
Okay. So you talk of noise pollution. Somebody was asking me, why is noise a pollution? Chronic exposure to noise leads to hearing loss, can cause stress, can even cause disease, and is also a form of environmental pollution. Because if there's noise in a place, you can't survive there. You won't want to stay there. You are not productive. So you need to. Some phones are still on. Bamu and Akman. Can you mute yourself, please? Thank you. So I think I have had a recap of pollution, and I guess we can all understand it very well, much of it. So we'll go back to our main class for today, which is Module 5. Does anyone have any questions? Or am I too fast?
Hello, ma.
Yes,
Hello?
please.
You are not fast.
Yes, sir.
Sorry. I want more explanation on that secondary pollution.
Okay. Secondary pollution. When you have carbon monoxide
Okay, ma.
as the original pollutant.
Yes.
That carbon monoxide has a tendency of reacting with oxygen, which is in the air,
Okay.
and being converted into carbon dioxide because more oxygen will be added to it.
Yes.
So the original toxin was, the original pollutant was carbon monoxide, which is
Yes.
even very poisonous.
It's
And
poisonous,
then,
yeah.
yes, when you add an additional oxygen to it, it becomes carbon dioxide. So in that same environment, you are having carbon monoxide and you are having carbon dioxide. So originally you had only carbon monoxide, but because of air circulation, it has attracted oxygen molecules to it. And so it has been able to also create a derivative of itself called carbon dioxide. So two things are now choking the environment.
Okay. Thank you
So
very
the
much, ma.
same thing with many other gases. They easily attract oxygen and turn into another thing. And then the two of them coexist together because they are like cousins.
Yes, ma. Thank you, ma.
Is that understood?
Yes, it's understood. Thank you, ma.
All right. Okay. Any other question? So we go to module 5. So while we were talking about pollution, we talked about mentioned some laws that were created to handle pollution. The Minamata Convention brought about a law to handle mercury. That was the time they declared mercury as a poison, and that is why any product containing mercury is confiscated. This Crusader soap, that's why it is sold by people under serious hiding. You will see them display it in their shops. There's one soap, they even wrote HG on it. I'm forgetting the name now. But any product containing mercury is absorbed by the skin and enters into the system and causes trouble. So another convention was the Basel Convention, which talked about the movement of hazardous materials across borders. So there are laws that are restricting pollutants or pollution of the earth. And this, Professor Temi would have talked so much about this, but you cannot talk about pollution and not mention the laws and not mention why the laws are linked to us enforcing them. But basically, it's something that Professor Temi has really talked to you about. I just need to mention it. And my emphasis is actually on you understanding labeling of products. So anything you buy now, please, let it be a duty to read what is on the product. Don't just use it. If it's shell talks, if it is a farm chemical, if it is a food, if whatever you buy, there are labels on it that give you information. Some of them would write use wear nose masks before using. Some will say wear hand gloves before touching. Many of us don't bother to read labels, don't bother to read pamphlets that are inside things, and just go ahead to use those things. Sometimes we suffer the consequences. So my emphasis on this lecture is for us to really pay attention to labels on products, because those labels are the warning signs we need. And when you don't apply those warning signs, you suffer the consequences. So let's form the habit of reading through products. there was a case of a woman who bought some items and left the nylon bag, a big chunk of nylon bag around her child. And you know, children pick things, and the child used the nylon bag and wrapped her face around it. The woman didn't notice when the child was doing this, probably maybe went to do some house chores, and the child suffocated. So you will see on products, on nylon, it will be written, do not dispose near children. Or inside the baby cot, you will see, do not leave children unattended. Some of these warning signs are things that even if you take a company to court, you will not win the case, because you yourself, you did not take notice to obey the law. So they just like the banks, they will put tiny caveats in their forms. You will quickly sign a form. It is when issues arise that the banks will point out that tiny caveat that you ignored. So let us always take time to read things and see where we will pay particular attention, and we will be of it, that it will be of concern to us, because you don't know where you will fall short of the law. Am I communicating?
With you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes, we
ma'am.
are communicating,
Hello?
ma.
Yes,
Why
ma'am.
would
Yes,
you?
ma'am.
Yes, yes, ma. We are with you.
Okay. All right. So environmental laws and principles and policies and directives are enacted and enforced by local, national, and international entities to regulate human treatment of the world. This could be a wide range of principles, regulations designed to protect and preserve the natural world, while also accommodating for the needs of the human society. During the late 20th century, environmental laws developed as an adjunct to the public health laws. Before, they were only thinking that diseases was only the cause of issues affecting man. Nobody thought that environmental issues also were affecting man. But by the time we started seeing big problems, of significant problems like global warming and all of it, people, scientists, and people of with interest in the environment began to see, there's a link between health, public health, and the environment. Because one problem in the environment can affect multitudes of people, leading to disease or even death. You see those stories of lead poisoning and mining in South Africa. When they were mining, you will see people, the mining sites collapsing on them, and people are dying, while also leaving the environment with lots of gullies. When I was a student in Jos, if an entire family on a Sunday morning died because their car ran into a mining gully that was left. Maybe the man lost control, I don't know. Deep inside it, it took days to evacuate that place, but they all died, perished in that accident. The mining sites were on Jos Road, inside even Jos Town itself, around the Bukuru area. So this as an environmental problem led to loss of lives. So there's a big link between the environment and our life on Earth. So the levels of laws, you have the regulatory laws, you have the statutory laws, and the policies. You have some are for regulation, some are compulsory. some are statutory, and some are regulatory. You must do it. There's nothing to avoid. Statutory laws, they are a must be done. While regulatory laws give you guidelines on what to do to stay within allowed limits. So some of the laws are focused on protection of biodiversity and species. There is a law, a national law on endangered species. You know, some species, maybe only 1 or 2 or 3 of them are still living in the world or in the country or in a location. But there are special species. You can't see something like elephants. There's a law against killing elephants now because you can't see much of the elephants again. So an elephant is an endangered species because a lot of people hunted elephants for the ivory that was in it, turning the ivory tucks into expensive jewelries and into decorative ornaments. And that led to a lot of elephants dying. Many of our children cannot see a physical elephant again, except in pictures. Even in the East Africa, where much of it was there. So a species like an elephant is an endangered species. Nobody kills it. There's a law against such species. So you don't keep it. You don't kill it. Then there are laws against cutting down of trees, forests, because you need to conserve biodiversity. Then there's a law against pollution. Of course, this is very obvious. There's the United Nations law, there's a World WHO law, there are country laws. These are the people that set limits, what is allowed. So when you're doing an experiment, you compare what you have found in your location to what the global standard is. There's a limit for air quality, maximum and upper, lower and upper. There's a same limit for water quality, same limits for air quality and soil quality. So whatever you find in a region, if it doesn't fall within the minimum or the maximum, but goes above, then you report it as going above limits, and that calls for action and attention in the place. So there's also some regulatory frameworks. These are the ones that give you the permits, like NAFDAC. NAFDAC is a regulatory agency. It is only NAFDAC can give you the permit to import, especially when it comes to food and drug items. They will not give you the permit for manufacturing. For the other ones, maybe the Standards Organization of Nigeria or any other body. So every of the agencies have their own role to play. Then you have the environmental impact assessment. Now S is added, social. Social is added because there's a human factor in environmental assessment. You must know that humans are affected and that humans are also need to be accounted for when you're doing environmental impact assessment. So you take care of it as well. And this guides the decision making. Then you have the climate mitigation laws, the Paris Declaration, and the Kyoto Declaration. These were international conferences that led to laws being put in place. The Paris Declaration is on all countries taking efforts to reduce the amount of greenhouse gases from fossil fuels. That is why a country like China has completely phased out fossil fuels. They are now into green technology, renewable energy. We're still struggling in Nigeria to get there. We're still buying fuel and depending on fuel to power everything. and we have intense pollution in our own land. So we have a National Climate Change Commission, but I wonder how many people hear about them or whatever they're doing to promote green and renewable energy use in Nigeria, because we are also contributing to. We do a lot of agriculture, and agricultural waste produces a lot of methane gas, and methane gas is a greenhouse gas. So we may not be producing in industries, but we're producing from agriculture. Go to where oranges are left to get rotten. If you stay there, the pungent smell that comes from there is methane gas. So even where we're not doing industrialization, our agriculture is also contributing to greenhouse gases. So that policies on reducing greenhouse gases does not apply only to industrialized worlds. We as Africans, we as rural farmers, we because we don't have good food processing alternatives, we produce en masse, we harvest en masse, and what we cannot handle, we leave out there. Mangoes, mango season will soon come. You see how much of it in railway market is rotting there. Pineapple, watermelon, they're all there on the street, giving out huge stench. That is methane gas. Methane gas comes from decaying matter. So it is not stopping, it is not only advanced countries. We have our own contribution to the problem of global warming and climate change. So the laws are also applied to us. And we should also be thinking of how we can do our post-harvest management. I think SEPTA is a center that was created to SEPTA, this BSU Center for Food Research and something. The center was created to teach people on post-harvest management of crops. So that even if you harvest so much, you should be able to add value to it, turn it into something that can be kept beyond that's why we're having gari powder, you're having poundo powder, cassava powder, all of them. Not only akpu, dry ones that water has been eliminated, but the powder form is still there for us to use. So value addition to products will also address this issue of decomposition of products and then addition of greenhouse gases to the environment. Are we together?
Where with you?
Yes.
Where with you, ma?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ma, I have a question.
All right, go on.
Sorry, my question is this. You know, you have been talking about some of the materials that cannot be easily decayed into the soil. So, and you know, we have undisposable materials like all those polythene bags. They cannot easily be decayed, and they will cause pollution in the environment. I don't know which way can this material be disposed properly.
Okay. For people who go abroad to and shop, you
Yes,
see
ma'am.
that they don't package their things inside nylon bags.
Okay.
They pack things inside paper bags. Paper
Paper bag.
is decayable.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, paper decays. A country
Okay.
like Rwanda has banned the use of nylon bags. So nobody packages anything for anyone inside nylon bag. What they encourage is you bring your shopping bag, or you bring a shopping basket, or the shop selling to you packages it for you in a paper bag. Now,
So,
paper comes from wood. So
yes.
that also is another problem. But there are different things people are turning into wood now, into paper, turning and getting paper out of it. Cassava
Okay.
stems are being turned into jute bags.
Yes.
A lot of things are being turned in the peel of maize, the one we burn, the one we throw away and burn, the one we want to
Yes.
roast maize, that's maize hair.
Yes.
Japan turns it into jute bags and baskets,
Wow.
shopping baskets and shopping bags. So that is a natural way of eliminating polythene bags. So we need to think outside nylon bag.
Nylon bags. Thank you very much, ma.
Have I answered you?
Yes, you have answered me, ma. Thank you, ma.
Okay. So if you cut down a coconut tree, you find a way to turn the stem. The stem is very fibrous. So I've seen technology online. People turn that fibrous content of coconut stem or plantain or banana into jute bags, into carrier bags, into shoes, into so many things. So if you throw that kind of baskets away after 1 or 2 rainfall or after 1 or 2 weeks in the soil, will it not decay?
Definitely will.
It will decay, surely decay.
Okay, so any organic matter decays. So we're encouraging green use of natural. Even I saw a place where China is turning banana leaves into plates for eating.
Wow.
You see China eats with chopsticks. So many things. So we also in Africa, I think our brain should also begin, our scientists should begin to think of how we can make use of technology and remove some of these our problems. In UK, I be in Germany, if you're going out with a dog, you must wear the dog pampers so that the dog does not poo on the road or pee on the road. You know, dogs can easily discharge. If for any reason you are caught without such things, you are fined. So where the laws are enforced, people obey the law. People obey the law. Are we together?
Yes, ma'am.
Are with you, ma.
We're together.
All right. So most environmental laws fall into a general category called command and control. Do this, don't do this, do this, don't do this. So those are the kind of laws we call command and control. You impose conditions, we prohibit certain forms of activities, and you identify what is particularly harmful to a place. Such laws most times are not very fussy, are not easily obeyed, those command and control kind of laws, because people easily disobey them. Then we have the environmental assessment law, which is an example is the EIA. Now it is mandatory to do an EIA. If you don't do an EIA, you cannot get any project. You cannot get any project approved. Even if it's a school you are constructing, even if it's a church, even if it's a market, if it doesn't have to be industry, whatever it is you're doing that involves you lifting the soil or cutting down trees or clearing the land or whatever, an EIA report is required. Even in houses, a building plan, an approved building plan is a mandatory before you can construct, so that it will tell government how you have planned your house, which area is going to be vegetation, which area is where you are siting your soccer way, where you're siting your well, where you're siting your this and that and that, so that contamination and pollution of a residential building is also regulated. So that's another law. Then some of the laws we have are precautionary law. This came out from the Rio conference in Brazil. it says that precaution, the simple English, precaution, taking care before disaster comes. That's just what it means. Don't wait for disaster to happen. So the principle of prevention is better than cure applies here. Take action. Assume that there is going to be trouble and plan for it. So the precautionary principle requires that you have a strong suspicion that something may harm the environment. So it is better to control our activity than wait for the evidence. It's better you take action, precaution, to prevent such a thing happening. Whether you have the evidence or not, but it's an assumption you must have. You don't need to wait for scientists to prove to you that this is wrong or this may happen. For example, I think China had been threatening to do some things in the world, and a lot of people took it for granted. And eventually, COVID-19 came out from the Chinese lab. That's why people say kept on saying COVID-19 was manufactured. It's possible it was manufactured. It's possible. Because there was always threats of America is showing superpower. Them too, they are superpower. Russia is showing superpower. Them too. So the scientists should have taken more action and seen how COVID-19 would have been prevented. But we took it for granted, and China struck us. And see what happened to the world. Businesses collapsed, people lost jobs. The world has not recovered from COVID-19. It has not. What happened in COVID-19 is even HIV/AIDS no near them at all. So when we are having suspicion that something is going to happen, take action before that thing eventually happens. Then the prevention principle is another law. Prevention is cheaper and easier than reacting when problem comes. This is a fundamental principle in life. Anything that you think is dangerous, avoid it. Avoid grasses around your house. Mosquitoes will not breed. Malaria will not come. Store your food well. Rodents will not get into them. You will not eat contaminated food. So prevention is always a better approach. This takes us to the issue of regulating the use of pesticides. And that was why newer pesticides, organic herbicides, organic fertilizers are now being invented. Using natural products. I remember when we were young, there was one plant like this. In the evening, my grandmother would cut it and put it in the room. The thing used to smell like curry. I don't see that plant again, but the thing used to smell like curry. She said it was a mosquito repellent. And truly, mosquitoes will not bite us. So there are strong chemicals in natural plants that can be insecticidal or herbicidal. We don't need the organophosphates and all the other ones that harm the environment by killing the pests. And the pests, like I told you, are very important for ecological activities. Ants decay wood. Decayed wood turns into manure. Ants decay leaves. Decayed leaves turn into manure. So if the leaves don't decay, the fertility of the soil is affected. So we need to take care of. Prevention is better than cure. Then another law is the polluter pays principle. Anyone who is causing environmental pollution should be made to pay. And this is the one the United Nations Environmental Program used to catch shell when this issue of Ogoniland came up. You are polluting, you will pay. That's why compensation cases came up. And a lot of people don't want to fall into, because compensation can run a complete business down. You don't know how much you'll be asked to pay compensation. So it's better to avoid into a situation of being asked to pay compensation. Some technologies fail. There are sometimes I hear of recall because this card is causing this, we should not use this model again, those kind of things. In the advanced world, they will recall it and people will return it and people are compensated because one defect or one problem has been identified with the product. So when people return it, they are giving money, but the industry is going to bear the cost. So we too, we should begin to think about people paying for pollution. If somebody builds a house and channels water, I think I've seen Bethesda trying somebody who channeled water from the house onto the road. They go around from time to time. So let's be careful as well. Then the integration principle. This one also goes along with the EIA. You cannot just wake up and want to do a project in a community and not involve people from that community. Because you need land, you need labor, you need security, you need information. How do you get all of this to guide your decision making? So people must be involved. The 10 environmental and social standards, stakeholder engagement is one of them. So stakeholder engagement is very important and it must be done. There must be evidence that you involved people in environmental management, because you don't know what you will go and touch that is not supposed to be touched, or what you should do that you shouldn't have, or that you haven't done. So integration principle is also very important as a law of the land. You are expected to integrate environmental considerations in your decision-making processes through the EIA Act or through the EIA and other ways of integrating. That is why S, social, is now added to EIA. It's now HCR, not only EIA, S, because the pillars of environmental sustainability are environment, social, economic, people, planet, prosperity. If you remove people from anything you're doing, you have not done anything. It is people that will use the services. It is people that will evaluate it. It's people that are there for your economy. So if you remove people, then who are you producing for? And then the public participation. That's why when an EIA report is produced, there's a 21-day call for memorandum of people to come and read the EIA report and give their own views before someone is given the permit to go ahead. If there are issues with the EIA report, those issues must be corrected before permits are allowed or are given. So every project is expected not to destroy natural resources and is not expected to destroy cultural sites of people. It's also not supposed to add to people's problems in the community. So all of these are taken care of. So why are the laws important? They protect the environment. You obviously, they set the limits. And there are safeguards to the ecosystem, to biodiversity, and to the help in natural resource conservation for today and for the future. They help in public health. So when there are issues of public health concern because of environmental issues, the two work together so that there's an improved health outcome. They help in climate change mitigation. You see, the policy on climate change has made, it is that policy on climate change that has created awareness on people on the use of solar. And that solar, you make a huge investment to acquire it, but at the end of the day, it saves you trouble. Except maybe during rainy season when the sun is not very intense again. But if you are to pay bills on NEPA every month, then you can see that for some people it's a big challenge. Universities were being built so much because universities are large organizations. So a lot of universities now have invested in solar. A university like UNN, apart from solar, they use domestic waste, do biodigestion, and generate electricity. So they're benefiting from the community waste as well as the solar energy, and they are saving costs. And then laws are important because they aid in sustainable development. Without laws, there will be misbehavior and chaos. Definitely, even though we have laws now, you see how people behave anyhow. Assuming there are no laws, then honestly, when you enter the market and you hear people, NAFDAC is coming, you see how people will be scampering to lock up things. NAFDAC is coming, or Ministry of Environment is coming, or Standards Organization is coming. All those inferior things or all those adulterated things, they'll start locking up and hiding them. So we need to practice right and do what is right for a sustainable development, because you are here today, your children are here tomorrow. If you destroy the environment today, where will your children stay tomorrow? That means human beings too will begin to be going extinct, just like we're making plants and animals to go extinct. Are we together?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you hearing me very well?
We are with you, man.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Well,
So
with you.
environmental laws also help in resource management. There's a law against cutting down of trees. There are forest laws. There are laws against dumping of hazardous materials on land, so that our land is there, our soil is there, we can do agriculture, we can do other things. Then the laws help in economic benefit. The greenhouse, the use of the encouragement to use natural energy sources has given businesses to some people. A lot of companies now are into solar panel production. A lot of people are being trained into solar installation. Is it not so?
It is.
So there are economic benefits when there are laws. A lot of people are now into solar works. So when there are laws, the economy also gains from it. Some businesses have completely changed their businesses to green technology. They don't use fossil fuels. So new machines are being produced now. Old ones have been thrown away. Computers used to be very gigantic, generating a lot of heat. Those days, you will see one whole room will have one computer doing generating noise and heat. Computers are very sleek now, very portable, because of technology and laws. Don't generate heat from technology. Don't occupy too much space from technology. So those laws are what is driving a lot of economies. Some computers are like pens and eyeglasses, but they are doing so many things. Security gadgets are like buttons now, doing a lot. Microchips. So a lot of businesses that are producing microchips now is because environmental concerns have been raised, and they are trying to work in line with the use of lesser materials. If you want to produce a computer, you will see a big computer has to use so much tin or platinum or aluminum, but a tiny pen or a handheld device uses less. So less of the mining and less use of materials. So also laws are, because there is international obligations to go by, we need to do what other countries are also doing, so that overall everyone is benefiting. And there is critical framework that guides our behavior towards a sustainable and responsible practice for the environment. We need to integrate this in our everyday lives and contribute to global efforts to address climate change, resource depletion, and environmental degradation. Everything is interconnected now. Nobody is standing alone. The environment needs you. You need the environment. You are not a superior being to the environment. Neither is the environment a superior thing. You work together, you stay together. One depends on the other for our long-term prosperity. They play a crucial role in guiding and shaping our actions and ensuring that our operations meet with the sustainable goals, and we have responsible stewardship towards natural resources. So we talk about the sustainable development goals. You must know them. You must know the particular ones that relate to the environment. Goal number 6, clean water and sanitation, is for the environment. Goal number 7, affordable and clean energy, is for the environment. Excuse me. Goal number 13, climate action. Goal number 14, life below water. Goal number 15, life on land. Goal number, where is the one for housing? Decent housing. Goal number 11 was also for sustainable cities. Goal number 9, industrialization, innovation, and infrastructure. So some of these goals are very tied to the environment. So you could ask a question, discuss the sustainable goals related to and with particular reference to those that contribute to environmental sustainability. So you will begin to talk about clean water and sanitation. You know that clean water and sanitation contributes to good hygiene and all of it. Abi, are we not together? Do you understand?
Yes, we understand.
Hello.
Yes.
So the 17 sustainable goals, some of them particularly relate to the environment. So you need to understand how they relate to the environment and be able to discuss them. How do they contribute to environmental sustainability? So I was talking about the signs and symbols. See, 100% eco-friendly, eco-energy. This is a plug to get into power. It shows you that natural resources were used. Eco footprint. The car is powered by natural fuels, things like this. So when you buy things, you see some signs like this on them. You will see on ACs or fans or refrigerators or freezers, because the components that have been used to make it or the gases inside them are eco-friendly gases. They will not cause harm. That is why at the point you had a lot of Tokumbo fridges coming into Nigeria. People were gladly buying Tokumbo, but Oyibo had phased out those fridges because of the CFCs that were used in them had been banned, and they were making Nigeria a dump site. But thank God, we too have adopted the green technology. The Hisense and the thermocool freezers are now eco-friendly ones. So we just need to understand some basic signs you see on things related to the environment. 3 triangles in a circular form means recycling. Something with leaves on it means that it's organic. power with radiation means it's solar. Then water in some hands means it's safe. So all these signs, we need to understand them as environmentalists and explain them as well. And then the safety signs are also important. What does it mean when you see some signs in some places? The person that was asking me the importance of noise, the second picture on my right or on my left, whichever direction you're facing, you see somebody wearing ear mufflers. So in entering a site, the person must wear something that will protect his ears because noise is in that place. So noise is a big environmental problem. And all these signs, radiation, biohazard, toxic, food, cancer, hazard, and all of them are very important for you to understand and know. So I think we have come to the end of our class today. And if there are questions, you will ask and we can answer and discuss them. So thank you so much today. Thank God network is better now, no break in transmission. So you can see that the morning problem was not, the morning was not a deliberate problem from my own end, it was a network problem.
Yes,
Thank you
ma'am.
so much.
Thank you,
So
ma'am.
let's hear from you. What are your contributions to this discussion this afternoon? What can you say on laws and pollution, and you as an expert, environmental expert, what will be your contribution towards environmental sustainability? Thank you. Class rep, attendance, pictures.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Agatha, good afternoon.
I
Yeah.
have
Okay.
It's patience.
Go ahead when you
The
finish.
question is, you were
Good
talking
afternoon.
about statutory laws and regulations. Can you hear me, ma? Hello? Hello? Wow. Hello?
Repeat yourself, please. Hello?
Okay, you were talking about statutory laws and regulation. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I can.
Okay, you're talking about statutory laws and regulation laws. I don't know if please.
Your network is breaking, oh, I cannot hear you. Maybe you type the question. I cannot hear you, so you type the question. Hello, is somebody hearing me?
I can hear you, ma'am.
Yes, we can hear you, ma. I can't hear what you're saying, so you type the question. Another person can speak. I can't hear her very well.
Okay, ma'am. I want to contribute, then share a personal experience, and then maybe ask a question.
Go ahead. Thank you very much.
When I became aware of my environment, I decided to stop using insecticide. And then when I made some researches, I realized that onions water can actually take care of mosquitoes. So we started using that, and then, but it didn't only take care of mosquito, it also took care of wild gecko and then rodents. But I then realized that there were infiltration of ants. Everywhere you go, ant was everywhere. That was kind of a challenge because if you sit on the floor, ant will just be stinking you here and there. So my question now is there a natural method one could use in order to help the environment and then not run into another problem? Ma?
Okay. Go. Is that all?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Most times you need a combination of things. I've seen where people use garlic and onions and this black pepper,
Okay.
oziza.
Mm,
Yeah, I've seen where people combine all of them and salt as well.
okay.
Yeah, so those are all natural things. Garlic repels a lot of insects. A lot can't stand garlic. So maybe if you added onions and garlic and you added pepper or oziza, the ants won't come. Ants don't go to pepper.
Thank you so much, ma.
Yeah. Okay. Peter, I'm seeing a question on the chat. Can someone read the question for me?
Let me read this one.
All right.
Good afternoon, ma. Please, you
Afternoon.
were saying about domestic waste to produce electricity. How can this be generated?
There's a process called biodigestion.
Biodigestion.
Make it
Okay.
rotten. Yes, you make it rotten and it produces methane gas.
Okay.
And methane gas can generate electricity when you do all those electrical processes.
Okay.
Your sockaway can generate electricity for you, you know.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I know that.
The people that are doing it, when they come, they know what to do for you, and the sockaway can be a source of power. Any organic waste can generate power. There is a process they call biodigestion, but they do some connections and some pipings and do all those things. They're experts in it. But the bottom line is this: the methane gas is produced.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Gas for cooking.
Yes, people use it for cooking too. Yes.
Ma, there's another question in the chat.
I want somebody to read it so that I don't go off the screen.
Okay, it said, what is the difference between statutory law and regulations law? With examples, please.
A statutory law, I have been
Yes, ma'am.
mentioning, EIA is a statutory law. EIA, the EIA law is statutory, right? It must be done. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, regulation, for example, for you to bring in something into the country, that is a regulation. In the workplace, for example, if you are working in the lab, the regulation there is don't eat inside the lab. That is a regulating law. Don't bring food into the lab. Don't mix things up in the lab. So statutory laws are things that are undisputed and are complied with and are cross-cutting across the countries. Anybody getting into such an adventure must do it. I've given the example of EIA in construction. It must be done. There are mandatory laws. But I could get more examples for you tomorrow in our revision, in our class tomorrow. Is that okay?
It's okay, ma.
Ma'am.
Are you hearing me again?
We are hearing you,
Yes,
ma.
ma, we
Thank
can
you,
hear
ma.
you.
Do we call it a day, or do people have contributions to make?
Thank you very much, ma.
We'll call it a day, ma. Thank you very much, ma. God bless you, ma.
Thank you, ma. I appreciate
All right.
it.
We
Okay.
appreciate, ma.
All right.
Thank you, ma.
See you tomorrow. So
Yeah,
my
see you
class
tomorrow, ma.
tomorrow is at 1 p.m. Yeah.
Okay, ma.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you, ma.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank
ma.
you.
Bye. Yeah.
Okay, prepare your slides against tomorrow. Thank you, everyone. Have
Thank
a
you.
nice day.
You too. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Prepare your slides against tomorrow for presentation.